And welcome back to another episode of Pokemon Knowledge. Now, if any of you guys happen to have watched the live I just had, I'm very sorry. We're probably going to have to start this over. That's definitely a little embarrassing. And I'm sorry for everybody that had to sit through that original one. We're going to do it again. Again, I'm sorry. But there will be a giveaway. And the giveaway will be signed 8.5 energies or 8.5 jungle Pikachus. I think I got some 9 Pikachus. So I am going to start doing giveaways on this channel. I have all these graded energies that I plan to give away. There's just so many of them. And I'm just going to sign them, give them away. It's not going to all be in one video. I'm so sorry for everybody out there who watched the original one. But in order to be eligible for that giveaway, all you got to do is after this video is over, just comment down below. And yeah, for those of you guys that stuck around and actually didn't leave, I appreciate that. And it's definitely a little embarrassing what just happened. But so we are gonna do this again though. And sorry, I'm just gonna add some stuff here. Let's see. All right. And in today's video, what we're gonna do is we're going to go over all the former lives I've had on my channel. Now, I know if you guys are not new to this channel, it's probably pretty hard to watch every single live, whether it's mine or any other PokeTuber. There's just not enough hours in a day. But I feel like if there's one video like this, if you want to sit through and just listen to every single live, I'll give a short little synopsis on each one. And then if maybe there's one you missed and it sounds interesting to you, you might want to go back and watch it. So I have a playlist on my channel. Just go to the channel, go under playlists. There's live chats or there's resealed packs. So this is just going to go over the live chat one. And yeah, again, guys, I am super sorry for every single one of you guys that happened to like have to sit through that original one. So let's see. All right. I'm going to ask the chat right now. Can you now see my live chat screen? So I'm going to go over it this time and hopefully we'll just burn through it a little faster. And there's been a lot of good live chats I've had on this channel and a lot of like super smart people, a lot of people that are super engaged in the hobby. And it's funny looking back on some of these lives. Sometimes lives don't age perfectly, like fantastic, because a lot of the lives are talking about like things that are super current that are going on right now in the PokeTuber space or the Pokemon space. So some of that doesn't age perfectly, but some of it does. So I'm just going to go through this list real quick and try to catch back up to where I was. Live chat Q&A with Catch 'em All Collectibles. Dan, great guy. We talked about all types of stuff. I started out as a Q&A. He jumped on midway through. We had an awesome discussion. Live interview with Danny Phantom. Danny Phantom, awesome person in this hobby. Everyone knows his channel. He does like a lot of real deep analytics. He only looks at numbers, which is really important. He's very good at taking his biases out when talking about Pokemon, especially when talking about Pokemon prices. At the end of this chat, we did get a little bit into like kind of a heated CGC conversation, but I don't think it went as far off the rails as maybe I thought during the live after I rewatched it after the fact. But Danny, great guy, totally a net positive for this community. Is this Pokemon Nirvana? I had Joe, Echo Base Collectibles on. Everybody know Joe, great guy. Why he doesn't have over 1,000 subscribers, I'll never know. And in this video, we just talked about the overall health of the Pokemon hobby. And this Squirtle from Fire Red Leaf Green with the dollar is where my playmat came from. So and like this was the thumbnail I made. Pokemon discussion, Astral Radiance, and Pokemon Go TCG. So all I talked about in this was, I think Astral Radiance is kind of going to be a stinker set and might actually like be very similar to a Battle Styles or maybe even a Fusion Strike. And we might see this drop real low, and Pokemon Go TCG set, like if there's not a lot of demand for that, we could be gearing up for like a lull time in the Pokemon hobby. But if you guys have seen already some of the releases come out of Japan right now for some of the new sets, I think this is only going to be like a one set with one specialty set, drop, but I don't like these very lackluster sets at just the timing they're coming out, because we're headed to not just a recession in the world, but kind of a recession in the Pokemon hobby too. So I just want to see how this play out. And when I made this video, it was super early on. We weren't even 100% sure on what all the set lists were. Then you want the truth, you can't handle the truth. This is just a response video I made to all the haters out there. I talked about it before. You can go in your YouTube app and you can change how long, or like for people to comment on a video during the live discussion, you can change it to like a duration. So some people do anytime, as long as you're subscribed, you could comment. Or I made it for an 8-month. You had to be subscribed to my channel for 8 months in order to be chatting in that live, because a lot of the meaner, more hateful comments I was getting was from people who I'd never seen their name before. They had never commented on my channel before, but they all came out of the woodwork to like say some pretty mean things recently. And I was just like, this is weird. So I changed it to 8 months. You had to be subscribed to comment on that video. And if you go back and reread that live chat, it's like the best people in the hobby. All the people, I knew every single name of the people chatting in there. I've like had conversations with them, or I know them. Like when I see their names, I know them. And they all said positive stuff, because those people are the true OGs of this channel. Those people that were commenting on that video, they know what this channel is about. There's no, no playing around. They knew. And when you read their comments, you're like, yeah, I knew it. And then answering Pokemon investment questions, I did a community post that pretty much said, ask a geologist Pokemon investing questions. So it was a very troll type thing, because first, you shouldn't ask a geologist about investment questions, and then definitely don't ask about Pokemon investing questions. But it was just kind of a play on all the craziness that was going on. And I answered every single question that people asked. So that was a lot of fun. Chatting with Pokemon Classics. This was easily one of my favorite lives I ever had on this channel. It's definitely up there. Like I'm not going to list any of them in order because they're all fun, but this is one that definitely sticks out, and definitely in recent memory. Because when you think about people that are just all around awesome dudes and are great for this hobby, and I've mentioned this before and I'll keep mentioning it, and I'll probably never stop mentioning it. And all my time in this hobby, all my time making content for YouTube, all the time conversing and conversation with people, never one single time have I ever heard one person say anything negative about Pokemon Classics. And that is such a huge compliment, to never hear one person say one negative thing. Like that is something we should all strive to do. And he is a great example for so many people in this hobby, and the content he makes, freaking fantastic. But then it's so ironic, because the video right before him was the top 10 Pokemon investment video. And somebody had reached out to me, asked me to make a reaction video on a Pokénab video, a top 10 list he did in 2020. And so I did a reaction video, and obviously coming out of the hype of 2020, all those, hot takes he had or good investment advices he had, they all did terrible. But man, that was a polarizing video. People either loved it or absolutely hated it. And it was pretty funny. And it was definitely the reaction from this top 10 video, which made the You Want the Truth, You Can't Handle the Truth video come out. So yeah, that was definitely fun. And then right before that was Truth Bombing with Z&G Emporium. And yeah, James is a good dude. He's a busy guy, man. It took me a long time emailing back and forth to get him on. Now, I am trying to get his coworker Cam on. I emailed him, haven't heard back yet. James, if you guys are listening to this video down in, while you're packing orders, maybe you got it playing in the background. Cam, I'm talking to you now. You need to answer my email. We need to get you on this channel. We need to know how tough of a boss James really is. I think that's going to be a fun live. Hopefully he wants to come on. We'll see though. But Z&G, great guy, like crazy backstory. Started really from the bottom, got in, started buying cards, worked his way up to a first edition booster box, sold that first edition booster box to Logan Paul, started the American arm of Graded Gem, like is doing all these graded returns and selling packs and breaking products. He's done Skyridge box breaks. He's done all this crazy stuff, like in such a very short amount of time, like very truncated when you think about the overall age of Pokemon. He did most of that within like a 5-year window, which is just freaking awesome. And he's a great dude, smart guy, hard worker. You can tell, like, quit his day job to do Pokemon full time. We asked him the tough questions like, do you regret doing the graded gem part of the United States? And he answered all those questions. And his wife came on at the end, and she's awesome too. She's just got like such a super positive like attitude towards her. And we also got him to open up some like Hidden Fates tins. So that was pretty funny. Then the one before that was discussing PokeTubers invest in biases with guest host, Basic Trainer, and Mason. So I mentioned it before, and I'll say the same thing again. This video got a lot of people in the community talking. There was multiple lives, multiple videos made about this. It really got people talking. Now, no matter what end of the spectrum you're on, whether you're on the end of the spectrum that Pokemon investing PokeTuber videos are super positive, or you're on the complete opposite end where, they're super negative, they're, very predatory or whatever, wherever you lie within that giant spectrum. People hated this video. Some people loved it, but you cannot lie about the one fact that it got people talking. And to have the title be discussing PokeTubers invest in, it definitely got a lot of people discussing. And I don't know. I think it's good. It's a conversation sometimes you got to have. Maybe it's not always like the rainbows and sunshines, like the pack opener, like, but you know what? Like niche channels like this, we're allowed to have these conversations, and they're tough conversations. And I brought Basic Trainer on because Basic Trainer is a straight shooter. Basic Trainer will tell you exactly how I feel, and he does not care if you do not agree with him or not. Basic is basic. And I mean that in the most positive way. Like, Basic is one of my favorite people in this hobby. Somebody I went down to Leonhardt Pop Shop with, consider him like one of my best friends in this hobby, like somebody I'm super close with. And I will tell you with all certainty, if he's saying it, he freaking believes it. And I respect him to the moon and back with him, holding true to his guns. And he doesn't, care what people have to think. He just believes what he believes. So shout out the Basic Trainer there. Live chats with Pokemon Radar discussing Logan Paul's Illustrator Pikachu. So this was right after Logan Paul had done his big, PSA 10 Illustrator Pikachu purchase. He showed it off at WrestleMania. And I wanted Radar on because when it comes to people that are some of the most knowledgeable people in this hobby, when it comes to trophy cards, Radar is definitely in that conversation. He might not be the number one most knowledgeable, but he's definitely up there. He's got a ton of knowledge when it comes to that stuff. So I wanted to get his opinions on there. Like, he met the person that sold the card to Logan Paul. Pokemon Radar has been to Dubai. He's sold cards to these people. He knew about this trade. Like, I think like the week after it happened. And so it was great to have him on, pick his brain a little bit. And at the end of that chat, Squeaks from Squeaks Game World came on. And I talked about it during the live, and I talked about it just a little while ago, is when Squeaks and Radar had their podcast, I keep mentioning it, but it was like catching lightning in the bottle, because those two people, why they are so very similar from the outside looking in. Anybody that's in the know, that's very into the Pokemon space, knows that they're very different and very polarizing. But the reason why Squeaks and Radar's podcast is like catching lightning in a bottle is because they were able to do something that most people are not able to do. They were able to have strong disagreements, but still keep it extremely respectful. And that is a very, very fine, like, imaginary line to walk, to be able to walk that so well. And the way they were able to disagree, and you could even call it like mini arguments. And, this is Pokemon and it's funny, but like, it was like catching lightning in a bottle. The way their chemistry worked, freaking awesome. I know I really liked their chats, and a lot of people also did. And then I brought Swami on the channel, and I've known Swami for a while, just like through chats and stuff. But we've talked a little bit through emails and stuff in the past, but I didn't know him personally, like beyond that. So finally get him on the channel. we had some great conversations before the live even started. And I wanted to talk about CGC's pop report and just talk about CGC as a whole. And Swami is very pro CGC. So I thought it would make like, good back and forth, because I literally went out of my way to find somebody who is very positive to CGC in order to have that conversation. And Swami always delivers. He had a great channel. I know a lot of his videos went private. But yeah, Swami, come back. The 3K subscriber, thank you. This is in the playlist. This is just a quick 4-minute video. I just did like a mini compilation of all the people that came on. It is a lot of fun to watch. It's only 4 minutes long. I definitely recommend it. And then I did time as it relates to Pokemon. And in this live, I just talked about exactly that, time, how time in Pokemon continues to just keep ticking along. And I talked about in the video, like, while you're living in the now, especially like the modern investing conversation, living in the now, it's super scary. But time in this hobby dictates all. And I talked about Pokemon as being a train. And Pokemon is a train because it just is chugging along that track, and it does not stop for anybody. It doesn't care what anybody has to think. It just keeps pumping out sets, pumping out products, and it just chugs along. And, we talked about a lot of stuff in that video. I thought it was fun. We talked about like the chances of Pokemon going back, reprinting sets. Like, are there any basics of that in the past? Like, has Pokemon does that? Will they do it again? How does the time, because now for Pokemon, especially, we have 25 years. That's a long time. And then I did a live just talking about being comfortable mentally with Pokemon products you're buying, because I had heard and read a lot of comments where people were like super nervous about the market and stuff. And in this video, I just pretty much said, like, guys, I'm very happy right now with everything I'm buying. I'm very happy at the prices I'm buying stuff. Like, I felt more motivated at the time of making that video than I had in a super long time, because in the 2020 aspect and a lot of 2021, really not even towards the end of 2021, I was super nervous about the hobby. I didn't know where it was going to go. All I knew was that a lot of the prices for some of this stuff was not sustainable. I felt that there was a lot of examples where prices were going to go up for a lot of stuff. And we have seen that, especially on the high end. And yes, we'll do it again, but like over $5 million for Illustrator Pikachu, like that is on the high end. And like, even like Scott Pratt's last video, like, dude, we should do maybe my next video, we'll do a reaction video to just some of the cards that we know Scott owns. Like, hearing some people's takes on Scott Pratt saying like he only made that video because he's upset because a lot of Scott's investments have gone down. And it's like, oh my God, you don't even know that his investments have not gone down. He's just in this year alone, he's made millions on like only like 5 or 10 cards because of how crazy the Pokemon trophy market went. His Pikachu Illustrator, or his Illustrator Pikachu PSA 9, he graded that card himself 10 years ago or 11 years ago. It was the first ever Pikachu Illustrator to grade a 9. He was the first one to ever do it. That card is worth millions of dollars right now. The Logan Paul purchase of that PSA 10 at 5.25, I promise you, it brought up the value of his PSA 9. Like, people to say he's upset, the cards he talked about in that video were, University Magikarps and Trophy Kangaskhan's and Illustrator Pikachus, and people were like, oh yeah, he's upset his investments are gone down. His investments just in the last 4 months have increased 7 figures. They've increased by the millions, and people are saying he's upset his investments went down. It's like, how do you even say that? I promise you, he doesn't care. His collection in the last 5 months, this drastic crash of Pokemon, his investments have gone up millions of dollars in just that Pikachu Illustrator alone. Like, I guess we could all talk about it, that a lot of those prices are not realized gains. He has like, number 1 through 3 97, 98 Pikas and stuff. Like those cards right now, the three of them are on Golden for $400,000 with 10 days left in that auction. They're at 400,000. I'll tell you right now, he did not buy those three cards for $40,000. Like, who knows where those cards are going to wind up, those three, but he has those same cards. Like, his investments are going up. And because of how many eyes are on the trophy market right now, his high-end investments are going stupid high. And I know a lot of people, they think they're worried about like the now. They're worried about what they're buying, some WotC hollows. And dude, he's made millions in the last 5 months. How many people in this hobby has the value of their collection gone up millions? So, but anyways, that was a big long-winded thing. Sorry about that. Then I said, could Pokemon crash if we're leaving a bull trap? So in this chat, I just talked like, that bull trap where how I'm super positive about the hobby. I was super negative about it for a while, but now I'm super happy because everything is dropping. But is that like a super indicator for a bull trap? Or are we really on that roller coaster down? Or is it not really going to wind up like that? And before that, we had rants with Cool Trainer Ryan, Rattle Pokemon, and PokeRev. This was one of those chats that I knew it was going to go off the rail. So to have Rattle and Cool Trainer Ryan on, and then midway through, we were all just having a great time, having fun conversations. Just that conversation was all over the place. Like two of my, favorite people in the hobby. And then Ryan got PokeRev to come on. And when Nick showed up, it was just like, oh boy, like what the heck did we just like go into? And the chat was just awesome. I think everybody was amazed. And it actually is kind of hard to have a conversation, believe it or not, with four people, because you got four people talking at once, and in order to have like meaningful conversations and have everybody like be engaged, it is tough. But man, we pulled it off in that video. And we got Rev. You can see in the background, Rev has his little Pikachu statue. We got him to pull out that. We were talking about video games. Like, there's a reason why. So there's like 10,000 watch hours on this video. 10,000. You know how many hours 10,000 hours is? There's like a year's worth of watch time on this. So it's pretty fun. Then eBay will have a vault. What does that mean for Pokemon? It's just when the eBay news came out. It's a super short video, just like what I thought it could mean. Astral Radiance, Pokemon Center ETBs, modern prices, reprints of Alvin Skies. This was just another like, quick conversation I want to have. Just talk about like the current market. Pokemon Breakdown with guest host Professor Oak. Professor Oak. Can't say enough about him, man. Like, he's been one. I think he was my first ever mod I have. I don't remember. I want to say he's the first person I ever made a mod, or it might have been Chevals or Drew or Basic. I don't know. Like, those four were definitely, I think Chevals was the last one. So I think Professor Oak or Basic was the first one. But either way, Professor Oak, super down the earth guy, like just a true Pokemon enthusiast. He's very engaged with everybody's channel, has his own channel. Go give him a subscribe. But just having him on, seeing the way he's growing, not just like as a collector, but just as a personality, like awesome dude, like great watch. I actually was, I had a lot of fun with that one. Pokemon chat with, oh my God, there's a typo there with guest host. I gotta fix that. Can I fix that? Oh well. The green shiz. So Josh, great guy. He's got his channel. He does his PWCC Sunday night breakdowns. I did like Josh a little more before he started to become a little bit of a CGC shill, and we'll try to get him back to the good side. He's kind of moved over to the dark side a little bit, but the force does run strong in him, so we'll try to get him back to the good side. But next, we got we have, where did my bottle opener go? Here we go. Next, we had on Ivy, And if you guys aren't familiar with Ivy, she's a TikToker. I'm not like a huge TikToker, so I'm kind of a boomer when it comes to that. But I had met her through Basic Trainer down at the Leonhardt Pop Shop, and she actually pulled my Raichu. So I am super jealous that she pulled the Raichu at the Leonhardt Pop Shop. I only pulled the Mewtwo. Shout out Basic Trainer for throwing or pulling the Charizard, which Basic Trainer's Charizard is the most viral Pokemon pull in the last year easily because that was everywhere. And it's crazy. But she ended up great in that Raichu. I saw it real time down at the Leonhardt Pop Shop. And I was like, oh, do you want to do a trade? But I looked at it and I thought it was pretty off center, but she ended up getting a 9 on that. So that's pretty awesome. Like, good for her. And I'm kind of happy I didn't trade the Mewtwo just because, yeah, it's like the Mewtwo Zap theme deck and all that stuff. But it's still just like, no, I had it. And I want to say they all came out of the same case. So the print quality was all very similar. And I do think my Mewtwo is the 9. So maybe now that, you could just submit anything to PSA at $50. I'll probably just keep waiting for it to drop. Maybe if it gets like $30, I'll grade it just to have it graded slab by PSA. And I'll probably get a 9. And then, but yeah, she's awesome. During that live, she opened up a pack of Gym 2. If you haven't watched that live, I don't want to give it away, but she pulled an absolute banger at the end of that chat. But she's super awesome, like super chill, super down to earth, just great person in the hobby. And right before that, so I'm super biased when it comes to this live. And it was the man who owns the most valuable trophy cards in the world, MK Poke CC, or who owned. So if you guys didn't watch that live, that is probably like, it's got to be in my top 5 best lives. Like, his backstory in Pokemon is freaking insane. I've talked about him now on multiple lives after the fact. MK Poke CC, when he was a junior in high school, was washing dishes in 2009, saved up enough money to buy an SSB Mewtwo. So Super Secret Battle Mewtwo, number 3 trainer raw. He was the first person in the world to grade that card a PSA 10. And he was able to save up money washing dishes as a summer job. That is crazy to think about. And then he worked his way up to trading for a Illustrator Pikachu. He had the authentic version. He talks about it during the live. Like, it's in the name of the game, Pokemon trading card game. He worked his way up to trade for that Illustrator Pikachu, and he traded like his PSA 10 Trophy Kangaskhan and some other stuff was in there. But like, he's had Super Secret Battle Mewtwo's and multiple Trophy Kangaskhan's and University Magikarps. And when he bought his the Poliwags, were like he talks about it during it. Like, we saw some of the snap cards trickle through, but the most that we saw at one time was the Poliwag. And at the time, people thought maybe only 10 of those snap cards were sent out. And a lot of them people had never even seen in person. Like, you only seen from the Silver Bible. And then the original winner showed photos that he had 15. And that was the famous photo that went around. And then everybody said, oh, okay, so there's 15 of each snap card. And then after the fact, we found out that each of the winners got 20. But going back to when he bought his snap card, people didn't even know how many were given out to the winners. Like, it was that early on in Pokemon history where like now everyone knows that to be fact, but he didn't even know. Like, it's crazy how far back he was doing super high-end purchases. Love this live. And when you listen to him talk, he is one of the smartest people in this hobby, hands down. Like, intelligence, IQ level is through the roof. And I always say, like, if he stuck with Pokemon, and because he did a little bit of content creating, like, I could see him easily be sitting at like 500,000 subscribers. Like, he had some high quality content with some crazy stuff. And he was very famous as going on the record like 5 years ago saying Pokemon was not investable. He went on the record. He said Pokemon is not investable. And his collection now, if you were to put price tags on it, be in the millions, who knows? I don't even know, multi-millions, like some crazy cards he's owned, crazy sets he's owned. Yeah, but that was definitely, if you haven't watched that live, definitely that would be like one of the top to go back. And then again, Health of the Pokemon Hobby with guest host the Old Card Shop and Pokenomics. So I guess Jake must have dropped in there at the end. I don't even remember Jake dropping in, but yeah, the Old Card Shop. So I met him down at the Leonhardt Pop Shop. That was the first time I ever met him. He's just got that super laid back demeanor. Like he's a funny dude too. And you see him in a lot of the chats. He always talks about like what's the new modern bag this week? Like what's the biggest modern bag of Pokemon? But he's like a super stand-up dude. And I brought him on a little bit on a previous live and talked about like the morality of pack breakers and stuff. And it was so hard to have that morality conversation with him because he's not like an unmoral person. So when you talk about the morality of pack breaking, he was probably the worst guest to be on because I was talking about all the more scummy people on Whatnot and not so much him, who really prides himself on being like a stand-up guy. But we had a good back and forth. He's got a pretty good podcast himself with the Flex Gods is on there, and I think it's called like Cardboard Hands or something. It's definitely worth watching. I know they've had some pretty good guests. Maybe I'll be a guest in the future. Yep, shout out, hit me up. But then we had before that modern Pokemon Bear versus Bull investment debate with guest host Bulba Squad. So I had watched Bulba Squad a little bit in the past, and started watching more of his videos, met him down at the Leonhardt Pop Shop too. And we had a conversation while we were down there. He's like, hey man, if you ever want to get together and like do a collab, we should. And so Bulba Squad's really weird. He started in on the PokeTubing investment, definitely very bullish for modern. And a lot of his early videos, like I didn't really agree with all his stances on how investable he thought modern was as a whole, or just the Pokemon hobby. I thought it was like some of the stuff he was saying was a little dangerous, but he changed drastically throughout the course of his channel. Like if you like to watch channel progression growth, you can see like video to video, his Pokemon IQ just continued to get like stronger and stronger and stronger as he went on. And like whatever, like maybe his original thoughts at the beginning, which might have been a little weak and might have been more based off feelings and not, and kind of ignored a lot of the analytical stuff. Like he really started to move into that. And his channel had great progression growth. And getting down to sit with him, like he's a smart dude. Like I really enjoyed the conversation. And I actually went on the why I think modern is going to be super successful. Like a lot of people say I'm anti-modern. Like in this video, he took the stance of modern wasn't investable, and I took the stance of modern is investable. Like this is how you can make money in modern. So that was a fun conversation. Then Pokemon chat with Echo Base Collectible and Old School Pokemon. Dude, I don't have to say anything about this. Like great guys. Again, Joe is such a good guest when it comes to podcasts. And then Old School Pokemon, just again, awesome dude. I mean, he doesn't like to put shopping carts away. We're not going to judge him about that. Okay, we'll judge him a little bit till the day he dies. But with that said, so Old School Pokemon actually has the purple energy. I think I have its brother's card here. There's the brother purple energy. It's a pop. So he's got the pop one of two. But I'm hoping he takes a pretty cool photo of that. And now, if you guys don't know, we have a thing where the Poke Purple Energy goes out, and then whoever has that card, it's kind of like the Ice Bucket Challenge. When they get that card, they donate $20 to a charity of his choice. Currently, he's holding that card. I'm hoping and then there's an Instagram page you can follow to see where that card has been. So like I've had it, Dan Catchmall Collectibles has had it. And so you can follow the path, very similar to like Where's George? I don't know if you remember those stamps on like dollar bills. You could track where your dollar bill is gone. So you could do the same thing with that Instagram. And I'm hoping he takes a photo with that card in like a shopping carriage or something, because that would just be freaking gold. But yeah, he's a great dude. And then live interview with Cool Trainer Ryan talking all things Pokemon, dude, Ryan is a wild card. I'll tell you what, Ryan, if you ask me just define Ryan with one sentence, I would just describe him like this. This man is a straight shooter. And that would be it. That's how I describe him. Ryan, super knowledgeable about Pokemon. The purchases, the buys he did, when he was doing them, how he was doing them, super risky. Like how he was leveraging himself, how he was acquiring product, super risky. Everything paid off. I mean, Ryan's sitting on millions of dollars worth of Pokemon at this point. If you haven't seen his collection, like just this weird era too, like tons of black and white stuff, tons of diamond and pearl stuff, the stuff a lot of people aren't sitting on a lot of, he has it. Hills Wholesale Gaming, like he talks about that in that live, talks about it in the other live, talks about how he became friends with PokeRev and stuff like that. And he's just I don't know how they explain him. He's one of my favorite people. I would love to have him on this channel again. I love to do another live, honestly, and just try to recreate the same live I had with him and Rattle on. Just do the three of us again. I doubt PokeRev will join a second time, but I don't know how to explain it. He is just a good dude. He is fun. He's interesting. His content he's been pumping out lately is just fantastic. Like the channel growth he's having is great. Like I know PokeRev, like gave him some of the secrets of how to do it, but it's funny. Like he was able to do it, but he still spices in his own, like drinking his apple juice. And that's what's in here too, Ryan's apple juice. But yeah, awesome dude. I can't wait to meet him in person. And when everything cools down, I know I will. And then right before that, I mean, talk about they had a bunch of great lives. This channel is freaking awesome. Right before that was a live chat with Rattle. And I told Rattle we would chat for an hour. This is a 3-hour and 22-minute long conversation me and him had. We just talked about everything. Like, so it's funny. Before Rattle's channel exploded, I had reached out to Rattle because he had made a great video, like exposing one of the scammers in the hobby, this guy Fahim. And I had been watching his channel for a while before that. And, never really reached out to him before, but I consumed so much of his content up to that point. And when he made that video, I was like, all right, this is freaking gold. I had watched when the whole Frosted Caribou drama went on, he made a Frosted Caribou video before that. And I really just enjoyed him as a person. I didn't even know him personally. Now I feel I do know Rattle. Like, that's a 3-hour conversation plus the other 4-hour conversation we had with me, him, Cool Trainer Ryan and Rev. I've now talked to him for like 7 hours in the last year, which I guess that's a long time. But yeah, I reached out to him on Instagram before his channel really exploded with the Logan Paul stuff. And I said, hey, do you mind if I share a video of yours? He goes, yeah, no problem. Like, you don't got to ask for permission to do that. And then when his channel popped off, and then I think I had asked him actually. So I asked him to come on a live before the Logan Paul box break. And then when the Logan Paul box break stuff came on, he just ran out of time, like became such a popular person. And then once things cooled down, Rattle reached out to me again on Instagram, like some time had definitely gone by. And he's like, hey, remember I told you I would be willing to come on alive? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, okay, I'm ready. Like, I was like, all right, we're doing it. Like, and I want to say like we scheduled that super early. And he's definitely one of the people that I'm super excited to meet eventually in the future. And when everything cools down, and yeah, it's crazy. Those two lives, like Ryan and Rattle were back to back, and then they ended up being on like one of my most successful lives. Like, just great dudes in the hobby. And I always talk about it, man, like how underrated. It's crazy. Like Rattle's channel is underrated, and Ryan and every single person who I've talked to on this channel, every channel is underrated. But yeah, fantastic people, man. Like just beacons of good for this hobby. And like some people don't like them because they just talk the truth. And like if you can't handle somebody who says the truth, then you're just full of shit. And you know, it is what it is. Like those guys are where it's at. Then before that was a live recap of Leonhardt's Pop Shop with Basic Trainer and Rock Pokemon. And in this video, we just went over our experience down at the Leonhardt Pop Shop. This is actually the first time I ever had Rock on, and he's a great guy, Connor. Super smart dude. Again, super underrated channel. Basic Trainer is freaking Basic Trainer. Can't say enough about these guys. It was a fun live. I had a lot of fun. And then Pokemon chat with guest host Kessamall Collectibles was before that. That was the first time I ever had Dan on, and that was a lot of fun. And like, little secret out there, like I didn't like Dan sometimes from E4 because Dan has written a lot of comments on E4, and Dan's comments on E4, whether I don't know if Dan actually knows it or not, but they definitely come off extremely opinionated sometimes. And like, I didn't love Dan on E4, but I love Dan as the person. I'm sorry I had to say that, but dude, but it's crazy. Like he's probably like up to 4,000 comments on E4, so it would be easy to like not like one of them. And then never a dull day in the Pokemon hobby. Honestly, I don't even remember. I talked for an hour and 20 minutes. I don't even know what that one was about. Let's dive in on resale packs, CGC, and Pokemon hobby. I don't know. I think maybe I was just talking about like how easy it is to resale packs there. Maybe. Discussing Logan Paul's fake sealed $3.5 million case. Yeah, this was just talking about like I don't know if this was after he opened it. Maybe this was right before he opened it, because in one of my lives discussing that, I like broke down exactly what I expected was going to happen when they opened it. I said I thought when they opened that box up, there were going to be fake first edition boxes in there, and that there were going to be packs in it. I just wasn't sure what packs were going to be in there, because my thought was if they ever ran it through an X-ray, you would have to have some sort of packs in there that looked relatively similar to Pokemon, where people wouldn't be able to identify it through X-ray, because at a big dollar amount, like it's especially at like the airport or something, like run that thing through the scanner at the airport, just like in transit, and be like, hey, can I see that screen? And they'd be like, oh yeah, what's in there? I don't know, cardboard. So this was a CGC aftermath video before that with guest host Mason. Mason, what a dude, man. Great guy in the hobby, runs a business. First guest I ever had on this channel was Mason. And the crazy thing about it is at the time, Mason had like well over 10,000 plus subscribers, and he was willing to come on my channel. Like Mason subscribed to me way, like I want to say when I had like 300 subscribers. Like Mason has been engaged with me for a while. So I don't know why he was so nice to me, but he was. And the CGC aftermath video was right after I made like one of my CGC hit piece videos where I just talk about the truth of CGC, which people hate, but he came on and we just talked about it. And then special guest host Echo. I think this is the first time I ever had Joe on. And then Jake from Pokenomics came in at the very end. I think I want to say he just messaged the chat and said, hey, I'm up to talk some Pokemon. And it's like, all right, sending you an invite. So that was a lot of fun. And then so this video, I kind of remember it. 2022 will bring out people's true intention. The Pokemon Reaper is here to collect. I want to say in this video, I talked about how all the people that were like in Pokemon for the wrong reasons and were saying how Pokemon was this great investment and, all this stuff and given financial advice and all this stuff, that they would come out of 2022 just looking so bad. And I think that's playing out a little bit right now. And then this is a surprise end of the year live with Basic Trainer. Basic Trainer just came on. We just bullshitted it for 40 minutes. I think this again was like, like Pokemon 2022, what I expected for the year, I think. Never a dull day in the Pokemon hobby. Don't even remember what that was about. This one is a Pokemon market crashing? I said, depends how you look. It's like, what sets are you looking at? What products are you looking at? This is a late night Pokemon chat. I think in this one, we talked about like cracking slabs and maybe like how lackluster Logan Paul's second booster box break was. It was like kind of boring. Uh yeah, so this video was chatting Pokemon with Basic. This is before we went to the Leonhardt Pop Shop and we talk about our expectations and we were talking about how we were going to plan for it. This video, sitting down with former sports card executive. Uh, so this was I tried to switch it up a little bit on my channel. I was doing a lot of Pokemon stuff. So I said, you know what? Let me bring on somebody who was a former executive. He worked for Upper Deck. So he worked, I think he worked in like their hockey department, and he knew a lot of like printer capabilities and stuff. And at the time, a lot of the conversation was how can Pokemon ramp up printers and stuff. And he was able to bring a very different perspective. The chat was very tough for me personally because I know shit about sports. Like, I mean, I'm a fan of sports. Like, I like baseball, I like football. But when it comes to the like sports trading cards and stuff, I know nothing about the market. So much of my time is focused on Pokemon. Like, it'd be impossible for me to know the sports card market, but he's very ingrained in it. So I kept trying to make the parallels during the conversation, like talking about Pokemon, talking about sports. And one of the things like takeaway from that video was if Pokemon could even get like a fraction of the overall share of the market that like sports cards has, which I think Pokemon is doing an okay job of. But if we were really, and what I mean by that is when you look at the really high end cards, like some of the super high end cards, in the millions of dollars for super modern stuff. But then it comes into the conversation. Well, those cards are like the definition of artificial scarcity and stuff, cards that are literally one of ones and stuff like Mike Trouts and stuff like that. So it is a tough conversation, but I did my best to bring it back to Pokemon as often as I could. This Pokemon a pumping up. I just pretty much talk like, are you guys ready for what's going to happen in the market? Like we're about this, and now at this point, we're still pretty early. Like now I was pretty much just saying like, get ready for it. This market's about to correct itself. And I think we're seeing that unfold right now. Like, and I think in this market, I talked about like Watsy hollows and stuff, like retracing, like the stuff that was all the obvious stuff that was just, yeah, it is what it is. Misconceptions about resale Pokemon product. Also, are PSA 10s really superior to PSA 9s? I don't even know what I talked about in that video. No clue. Oh, this is a great one. I love this title of this video. As I walk through the valley of the 79.95 booster boxes, I will fear no evil. So this was the day that both Chill and Rain and Battle Styles both were selling on eBay shipped for less than $80. And when that happened, I was like, okay, I'm ready to start buying some Chill and Rain. I already like had a couple Battle Styles booster boxes, but for Chill and Rain at under $80, I was like, this is it. I'm ready. And the guy who was selling it at the time, I reached out to him. I met him in person. Yes, he is still going to eventually. This is now going back, I want to say 7-8 months ago. He's still coming on this channel eventually. I'm sorry, guys. He's got a new warehouse and stuff, but he was the man who created that price on eBay. Got like a feedback score of 400,000. I think when I met with him, he had told me he had already sold like, I forget the number. It was like 2,400 cases or boxes of Chill and Rain already. But either way, I met him in person and I walked in his warehouse at the time. And like in my head, I was thinking like Pokemon warehouses, like what could it look like? Be super clean, like nice concrete floors and like nice clean aisles and stuff. No, walked in there. It was like somebody had just a bomb went off, like a SWAT team had invaded. It was like boxes scattered all over the place and like people running around and just booster boxes and just cases, just like for as far as you could walk, just like stacked literally to the ceiling, like not on pallets, just stacked, like boxes stacked. It was ridiculous. And I'll never forget like walking in and I remember I asked him after I talked to him, I was like, hey, do you care if I just walk around? He's like, yeah, go for it. Like nobody followed me around. I just walked. And I remember looking at all the booster boxes and all the ETBs and just thinking like, oh my God, like, for me, I'll make a position in a product and I'll get like 1 to 2 cases of booster boxes. So a case is six or yeah, 1 to 2 cases. So one case is 6 booster boxes. So maybe I'm the high end for some of the sets I really like maybe like an Evolving Skies or Brilliant Stars. Like maybe I'll get 2 cases. And as I walk by, just I don't know, thousands and just everything. And the dude was super straight shooter and like he's funny too. Like the things he was talking about, like he sold all these thousands and millions of dollars worth of product just in a year. And he had a I'll never forget it. And said this story before. He had a Rapidash V box sitting on his desk. And he's like, you see this? You see this? Somebody brought this, somebody returned this because they said it was resealed. And he's like, look around. And as he does that, like you could just turn around and it's just like a wall of just cardboard boxes with stock tape. And he's like, do you think I have time to reseal this? And he starts swearing like, this Rapidash V box, does that make any sense? And I just laugh because like when you look like the logistics of trying to reseal a Rapidash V box of this guy would just be like, it's so ridiculous. But the fact that he had to accept that return and was dealing with that, he will be on this channel someday, I promise. This video reflected on the last year of Pokemon. I want to say I just talked about Pokemon. This video, this was exciting. This is when this was the day I booked my ticket to Leonhardt Pop Shop. It's kind of funny to look back. I maybe I'll have to watch this video one day myself because I was so excited. I didn't know who was going at this point. When I bought my ticket, Basic Trainer hadn't bought his yet. I think he bought his on the second wave of tickets. And at the time, I don't know if I knew Rock was going yet. I think I found out Rock was going through Basic. So at this time, I was just going. I didn't know anyone. Like, I wasn't meeting up with anybody. I literally bought my ticket, bought a plane ticket. I picked the wrong hotel because I didn't know where everybody was staying. I literally just pulled up like a Google Maps view, looked at the convention center, like scrolled back on Google Maps and found a hotel. And it ended up being like this shitty motel and it was funny because there was some of the hotels were like, I want to say like as cheap as like 125 a night. And I picked the one that was like 199 a night. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to just spend the extra couple bucks because I just don't want to go there and like be in the slums. So I clicked the one that was $75 more. And I was like, at least that will eliminate all the crappy hotels. No, I ended up staying at like this super like weird hotel motel Days Inn or whatever it was. And it was just like, oops, I really should have like probably clicked on it and actually looked at like the street, whatever. But no, so in this video, I just talked about like how excited I was to go there and how I didn't know what to expect. This video, let's discuss PokeRev's Holland Phantoms booster box break. I remember I did this, this kind of like not a reaction, but just talking about it, like how ridiculous it was, how much people were paying for Holland Phantom packs. I remember watching that live. I do love Rev's, Tuesday night box breaks because a lot of those sets I don't get to experience. Like I'll pass over, the base set Jungle Fossil, like stuff I've seen opened all the time and some of the Japanese stuff, but like Holland Phantoms, you get to see Holland's Phantoms open like once a year if you're lucky. And sometimes it's not even that much. So I just like watching it. But man, he was selling packs for a crazy amount of money. I want to say like $830 or something. It was like double what you can buy a Holland's Phantom pack for. And I think at the beginning, before he started his live, I remember correctly, it was something like 13 packs had sold. But by the time that live had ended, he had sold through all 36 at $860 a pack. And I was like, holy crap. Like this guy could sell anything and just for any price he wants, which, hey, Nick's watching this. He's at home packing orders or he's listened to this on replay because he's already admitted he watches this channel. So good for you, man. Like if you're able to do that, go for it. Like he's kind of built his own mini Pokemon empire. I mean, haters could hate, but sometimes you just gotta give credit where credit's due. And dude's built an empire. Good for him. Like, I wouldn't be able to sell Hom Phantom packs for that price. And then this one, I said, is now the time to buy Pokemon? Collector versus investor debate. I don't really know what I talked about in that video, but I talked for an hour. Jesus. Let me know down in the chat that I'm not reading. Sorry. Any of you guys actually watched every single one of these? Like, there's hours worth of content here. Like, this is days worth of content. But Poke Knowledge with guest host Old School Pokemon. So this is the first time I ever had Old School Pokemon on. And this we had a lot of fun. I mean, you can see, I want to say Nick was probably getting pretty tired at the end of this, 3 hours, 38 minutes. But when you talk to somebody you really like as a person, and I really like him as a person, like, I think he's, again, one of the top people in the hobby, one of the most awesome people, most distinct voice too. Like, hey, everybody, Old School Pokemon here. Like, you, just like my voice, everybody says like I sound like a 13 or 12-year-old till you see my face. And it's like, holy crap, I'm pretty sure like this guy it's not his real voice, it's some 12-year-old's voice. But he's got a very distinct voice. And that was a great conversation. And then this goes back to this is my first live I ever had a guest on, and this was with Mason. And I didn't have my camera yet, like it's computer view and stuff. And yeah, if Mason's watching this after the fact, like, Mason, like, thank you for believing in this channel, man. Like, you're an all-star, Mason. Like, I don't know what you saw on my channel, like why you did it. And when Mason came on this channel, that was a huge push for this. I want to say I got a lot of subscribers from that, like, just because people knew Mason, they didn't know me. And yeah, when smaller channels ask me to come on, like, that's one of the reasons I enjoy coming on, is because I'm not a big channel by any means, but when I think about what Mason did for me, like, freaking awesome. And then I had just a couple of these like fireside chats where I just talked Pokemon, probably like poor names for videos, but like fireside chats kind of goes off like Franklin Delano Roosevelt, like during World War II and stuff. He would talk just like, presidential news type stuff. So it's a play off of that word. And then it comes back to live Pokemon chat. And then if you guys want a really cringeworthy video, it's my live Q&A. Bad microphone, bad camera. My first ever live. To be honest with you, I was so freaking nervous. So I had a lot of videos on my channel before this live Q&A. And yeah, I never showed my face before. And I started making enough videos and enough like discussions and everything. I'm like, you know what? If anybody's going to take me seriously, like, I need to show my face. So I did. And here I am after all this time. So that was a breakdown of all the lives I ever did. So I don't know if you guys enjoyed it. Maybe you guys watch this after the fact and say, this is, you heard about one of the lives, you can go on the channel page and look. And just so anybody that missed it at the beginning, we'll go over like what the giveaway is again. So giveaway is very simple. All you got to do is, when this video is over, right down below in the comments, put a comment, tell me what your favorite live was, and you'll be entered to win a signed 8.5 energy or 8.5 Pikachu from Jungle, unlimited, of course. And all these eventually will be given away. They're just tons of energies graded. I'll sign them if you guys want them. But I don't even know how many there are. There's got to be 50 or 60 of them. I even have like some of the crappier ones, like the 9s Pikachus. You don't want 9 Pikachus. You want the 8.5s. 8.5 that's a meme. But yeah, guys, I just wanted to do this video, do a little discussion. Sorry for everybody that tuned in to my first live right before this one that I had to end up deleting because I was sharing the wrong screen all this time. But I think it's fun. And you know what? I- The people that win first are going to win the 8.5 energies. Like all like, so this pile. So, so these are just nines, this pile. Dude, I promise you, nines is not where it's at. For a graded energy, you don't want a 9. You want an 8.5 because 8.5 is funny. Nines are not funny. 8.5s are funny. So it'll be fun. But yeah, so I got all you guys in here. Do me a favor. End a video. Write a comment. Let me know what was your favorite live I ever had on this channel so you could be eligible for that giveaway. And I'll add both. If you want both, you want a Pikachu and energy, just let me know. It doesn't matter. I'll give you both. How about this? Give up these today. Little Pikachu Jungle 8.5 and Fire. I'll only sign the energy. I won't sign the Pikachu. And that will be today's giveaway. So all you got to do after this video is over, just comment, tell me what your favorite live I ever had was, and you'll be entered. And then, all right. So today is May 11th. So it's a Wednesday. Let's say we'll give it we'll give it till like Monday of next week. And then on Monday, we'll just announce a winner. So that'll give people like, I don't know, 5 days or whatever. I think that'll be enough for people to watch this because not everybody's going to watch this right away. So, but no, appreciate every single one of you guys. And you guys are the freaking best. And appreciate every single one of you guys. Every live I've ever done. I'm sorry I wasn't more engaged with the chat tonight. It's just because I was trying to share the screen and like go over everything. But I can promise you with all truthfulness, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, I would not make any lives if it was not for you guys, the community. Like, you guys are freaking rock stars, man. I like every single one of you guys. And it's amazing the amount of friends I've made, the amount of content creators that I came out, like, you know, Professor Oaks freaking in the chat. Like, dude's an all-star, like making his own channel. Give that guy a subscribe. Echo Base Collectibles, every single freaking person that has ever been on this channel. I feel so lucky. I'm so grateful for every single one of you guys. But with all that said, guys, this channel has got a long way to go. And I promise you, next month on June 10th, we have the best guest coming on that this channel has ever had. And the fact that he's coming on is literally the reason I made this video going over all my other lives, because me and him haven't even talked yet. And I'm already putting that live on some crazy pedestal that it probably no way will it possibly live up to my expectations, but I'm okay with that. But with that said, guys, as always, I'll catch you on the next video.